Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Shamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is a nerve healing and detoxing, energetic healing ceremony. So I'm going to explain. And basically, okay, I'm going to start with what I've been feeling for a few days. I've been picking up on some real strong bitterness. So when that happens as an empath, I feel a bitter taste in my mouth, but it's not acid reflux. It's the sensation of having eaten something bitter. You know how the tongue then sends you the signal that something is bitter, except I didn't eat anything bitter. But there was nothing external in the 3D world that would have directly triggered it, right? And I had the same thing happen many years ago after my loveless marriage ended. My ex sent me some real hateful energies, and some of them were quite bitter, right? So he had a lot of bitterness in him. And at that point, I went to my Chinese doctor who hadn't retired yet at that point, and he had told me to get that aloe vera drink that's in these green bottles. It's exactly like this one. I'm not sure if there are different companies making the same drink, but I got this in the international food section at Walmart. But usually you can find it in Chinese supermarkets. And like most supermarkets also carry this now in the international food section. Um, and it's funny because I had been going to him long enough that he knew I was okay with making those herbal teas that he usually subscribed his Chinese customers or clients. But also like for like quick and easy use, he would sometimes prescribe me herbal pills, right? But he had never sent me to the supermarket next door to buy an aloe drink until that happened. And I never quite asked him. His English was limited, so like he was okay at communicating the necessity, but not much beyond. Sometimes he would have to use the dictionary. But anyhow, so I suspect it's a combination of the sweetness because it's a quite a sweet sugary drink, which is not usually my thing. Um, but I think it's a combination of the aloe vera with the sugar. And I checked the ingredients. There's also some calcium in there, calcium lactate, citric acid, and some other stuff. Now, I'm not a fan of like these fake and chemical things. So there's artificial grape flavor in there. And some of these sugars are not the healthiest. I'm not exactly sure what kind of gum gellan gum is, but trisodium citrate also doesn't sound super healthy. But it actually worked. And in that case back then, I think he said I should drink one or two of those bottles per day, which to me was like, whoa, that's way too much sweet stuff. So I ended up going on a vision quest, and my spirit guides then let me know that I should simply eat a salad every day. And actually, the last few days, I ate greens, but not exactly in salad form. So and I didn't get any more details from my spirit team. I just knew that it worked once I started eating a salad every day. So I think it's the combination of the chlorophyll with the oil and vinegar. But again, sometimes I just get the guidance as to what I need to do, but I don't always get tons of explanations. So just bear with me there. So now I'm dealing with someone bitter again. And I know that for some of you, that's also the case when someone sent someone miserable with their own lives or in their own lives and is quite bitter about just where they're at in life and whatnot, right? Whatever their reasons and situations and circumstances might be. But when they're at a point where they're sending us hate because we stood up for ourselves and we stood up in truth and exposed their lies and manipulations, then many of us will receive those bitter energies, right? So, what I did here, I actually made tea with aloe vera in it, and I added some honey to add the sweetness. Hopefully, that'll still more or less cover it. But I wanted to show you the actual aloe vera drink that my Chinese doctor had recommended, because if the tea form doesn't work as well, you can try it out yourselves. You might want to revert to the more chemical version there, or the faker version, if it's really bad, right? And you can see I just sacrificed one of the leaves on my aloe vera plant. Hold on, can you see it? Yeah, you can see at the bottom here. That's the one that I cut off. And I used one where the tip was a little bit bent, so I saved the one that's still in good shape, just so that, that's the minimal amount of damage. So then, to continue my little intro explanation, I've been seeing a lot of signs recently about needing to detox. And a lot of times when we have toxic emotions and energies that we're dealing with, and maybe some toxic thoughts as well, thought forms, those could be our own. They could have been projected onto us. They could have been projected onto us recently, and we absorbed them, or a long time ago, and we somehow over the years, over time, accepted that as a reality and integrated that into our programming, right? So whatever the exact details are, detoxing, and especially in the spring or early summer, that's a good idea anyway. So I picked some common thistle, but you can also buy milk thistle in the health food store, which is a little stronger. But this grows everywhere, like on the edge of parks and in areas that were disturbed, but then that are more or less green. So this grows all over the place. So if you can recognize it, you can simply pick your own. Since common thistle is not as strong as milk thistle, you can use more or you can use it longer, right? So that's up to you. And then the other thing is, today, not recently, today I watched a video where a woman talked about the healing of, I don't want to say healing properties, because she didn't come from a scientific perspective. She talked about her own experience and her own healing journey, and how lemon balm has really helped her, and how lemon balm is really good for calming nerves. And part of detoxing our system, our energy field, detoxing emotionally, is also calming the nerves that have been in fight or flight mode for too long, that have been frayed because of PTSD or CPTSD or any long-term stress, right? Anything like that. So, since I recently harvested a bunch of my lemon balm and put it in salad, I actually put most of the leaves that I was able to get from the still recovering plant in the tea, and I just kept one leaf out to show you. But it's very easy to recognize. If you rub the leaf and you smell your fingers, they smell quite lemony. It's a lovely smell. And then I also added some catnip in there. And there I was able to take a little bit more. I cut it off maybe 2 hours ago, and see it's starting to wilt already, maybe 3 hours ago. I don't know. But it And you can see they're both part of the mint family, so the leaves are actually quite similar, but I find the catnip leaves appear a little bit more delicate than the lemon balm when it's like on the plant. Now, again, it's hanging a little bit more, but when you rub the catnip, the smell reminds me a little bit more of almost like pot or skunk or something, right? So, um, yeah, that's a very unique smell. And those of you who have cats, you know it. For cats, it's stimulating. For humans, it's the opposite. It calms, right? So, this also shall support the calming effect. But then the aloe vera and the honey for the bitterness, taking the bitterness away. Oh, something fell into my tea. Oh, that's a tiny little piece of cedar. And again, the thistle for detoxing and the lemon balm for really recovering the nerves, right? The nerves that have been in fight or flight mode for too long. So that's really what this ceremony is about. And what I really love about this too is like, this is all from nature, right? So Mother Nature gives us everything that we need. And that's actually something that I've been meaning to do as well, of like reconnecting with nature. So I actually found a flower candle at the store, and since I have the flower bowl, I wanted to use that for reconnecting more with nature. But then I realized this ties together perfectly with our nature theme here, because also going into nature is very healing, right? So that's also something we have to remember in our healing, that we need to make time to go into nature, right? Even if it's just for a little bit. Okay, so with that being said, and for those of you who do have a bitter taste in your mouth and it's not related to acid reflux or any other like illness or whatever, it's one of those inexplicable symptoms that us empaths often have. And it's not inexplicable in the spiritual sense, but in the Western 3D scientific sense, right? So on a spiritual or astral level, it actually tells us all the stuff that's actually going on energetically, right? So, anyhow, if you want to make sure that you do eat a salad every day, there's a reason behind it that helps get rid of the bitter taste in your mouth on a physical level, just to balance it. Okay, with that being said, let's smudge and start the ceremony, call in our divine team, and yeah, get this going. And I already tried a little bit of the tea. It tastes quite nice. So hopefully if you get a chance to make one for yourself as well, for yourselves, plural viewers, then I hope that you will enjoy it as well. I'm sure some lemon juice would be good in there as well. You can always spice it up a little more with ginger, but these are the ingredients that I was guided to that are important, right? Okay. Please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and take away anything dark, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine essence and return it to the universe for reintegration, and help us fully and completely reconnect with our own inner divinity, as well as that all around us, and through that help us be in oneness with all of creation. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. All right. Dear divine higher power of the universe, our higher selves, our entire divine spirit team of the light, including our ancestors that are in the light, the 4 directions, and the 4 elements, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. All right, let us start by expressing our gratitude. And I give thanks to a wonderful day that was the perfect summer day for me. I love hot summer days. They're sunny, really warm, not insanely hot, but we had 26 degrees Celsius today. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I didn't check, but it's a beautiful summer day, right? And at nighttime, it dropped down to 20, which is still really pleasant, still t-shirt weather, even at nighttime. So those are the nights that I absolutely cherish and love. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And that hopefully there will be many more of those this summer. So yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, with that being said, let me first light the flower candle to represent the flora that Mother Earth has for us, with all the gifts that the plant life has to offer us for healing, as well as helping us reconnect to Mother Nature directly by going into nature, right? And of course, like, we will probably see some animals too, especially in city parks here in Toronto. Most likely you're going to see some raccoons, and sometimes you can be lucky to see other animals. I've seen deer on more than one occasion, then some foxes, coyotes, and I think even wolves that wandered up and down the along the two rivers that run through our city, right? Like on the east and west side. So that's actually amazingly lucky, because that brings a lot of wildlife right into the city, but they usually still stay in the parks, right? Then of course skunks wander all over the place at nighttime too. I just saw one earlier today. Luckily at a safe distance. And once in a while I've seen an opossum in the city. And I mean, obviously, like, pigeons are common in all cities as well. Squirrels are very common. And well, that's all I can think of right now. Oh yeah, I did once actually have an eagle, and I'm certain that it was an eagle, a golden eagle, right? The brown ones land on my balcony railing many, many years ago. And it was at the perfect time when I needed guidance. And once it spread the wings and dove down, I was certain that it was an eagle and nothing smaller, because like, even just the body itself, when it was sitting on the railing, it looked like about a meter in length. And then with the wing spread, even like much, much bigger, right? So it was amazing. So we can be very lucky to have a lot of nature available to us even in cities, but in some cities there's less green space, but hopefully you're able to still find some, right? Anyhow, with that being said, let us move to the healing plants that we have represented here. So thank you, Great Spirit of the aloe vera, for the soothing effects that help take away the bitterness, together with the honey here. Then thank you, Great Spirit of the thistle, for helping detox, and of course our entire system. So on an astral level, on an energy healing for all of you viewers. And if you get a chance to make tea as well, then it's also more physical in a direct sense. Of course, the astral healing will also help you physically, right? But it's stronger and more direct if you can also drink that tea. Then thank you, Great Spirit of the lemon balm for such a wonderful and refreshing summer flavor that I always enjoy, and for helping us heal the strained nerves, the nerves that have been in fight or flight mode for too long. And finally, Great Spirit of the catnip for helping us just calm our entire system, our nervous system, but also just calm every aspect of us to help more and more move into that healthy, calm, relaxed, healed state of being. And with that being said, let me drink some of that tea. One moment, please. It is possible to eat the leaves as well, or at least most of these, but yeah, that's very lovely. That tastes really good. Now I'm going to finish the rest later because, whoops. Oh, that looks like a little bit of blood running down. Okay, so a lot of it is really the pain. It's like blood is the pain, but it looks like tears running down. So it's also the emotional pain, right? The hurt, the pain, the suffering that we're healing from. So yeah, thank you for falling. So I actually made a lot. See, I actually used the measuring cup, but it was not quite at a liter, but almost. It was somewhere up here, right? So with this tea, and for those of all of you who are drinking tea, with all of our teas, let us heal every part of our system. Let us heal physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, karmically, and in any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime and moving forward. And let our entire lineages also be healed with this strong, energetic healing support to just clear out all this toxicity, all that reactive behavior that comes from trauma, all that tension, all those stress reactions. Let all of that be taken away. Let it be pulled out of us and sent into the light. Great Spirit of the fire, please burn it away and transmute it into pure divine essence again, and return it to the universe for reintegration. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. Oh, and by the way, what just popped into my head as well, this plant unfortunately didn't come out with much of the root, little piece here, but usually it's much longer. But you can also use the root for tea, right? So in there, I actually put the entire plant with the root. The roots are a little more bitter, so if you have too many of those root pieces in there, then it's going to be really bitter. The leaves are a little more palatable, but either way, like it's very good for detoxing. Okay, so let us take a deep breath in, breathing in that pure divine healing light. And let us exhale Exhale all that hurt, pain, suffering, all that darkness, all those dark emotions, and any and all bitterness and resentment that we've been holding on to that have also kept us reactive and were in order to protect ourselves. So we cut off people because we got massively triggered by certain things that they were doing that we no longer want to accept in our lives, right? Certain amounts of or certain types of disrespectful behavior, anything that is not in line with with our healing and ascension journey. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. All right. With that being said, let this ceremony now be finished, and let us give massive amounts of love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings to our divine team. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all your assistance in this healing. Please open the circle of protection around us, but keep us strongly and massively safe, shielded, and protected at all times with the divine seal of protection. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations, all our relations. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And also, if you want to put down in the comments what you felt, that would be wonderful. I love reading that. And if you'd like to support the channel further, there's a PayPal link down below. Also, the upcoming virtual group ceremonies are going to be posted on meetup.com under the group name Shamanic Fire Ceremonies. And I'll also put a note on the Shamanic Shaman Facebook page. So if any of you are interested in those, then please head on over. I should post more shortly. In the meantime, I'm sending all of you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. May truth and integrity always be with you. Bye for now.